Have you ever had homework or a project for school and you did it in the last day? The teacher gave you a month to do it. A month, a full month for you to be able to work on the project, to perfect it, to make it as good as possible. But you just procrastinate. You keep thinking of other things, you forget about it. And in the last day, or the last 2 days, you realize, bro, I have to work on that. And you start working, and it feels like you can barely make any work. You try to sit down and work, you try to work on a project to find the information, and in half an hour, you barely make the title. You barely do anything. Okay, the next day comes, and you still have 1 day to turn in the project. On that day, you work non-stop. You fully give your attention to it, but your mind still drifts away. But you still give it your full attention because you can't do anything else. You have the project, the deadline tomorrow, and you have to turn it in order to get a good grade. You can't do anything else but focus. It doesn't matter if your friends message you on Discord. It doesn't matter if that girl FaceTimes you. It does not matter. You have to focus on that one thing. And time slowly slips away. You realize that you'll be getting less sleep than usual because you had to turn in the project. But eventually, you get it done. Eventually, after 6 or 7 hours of working, in 1 day of just full, pure focus, you manage to finish the project. And you turn it in. And you get a pretty good grade. This used to be me when I was little. Every single time I would have a project or a homework, I wouldn't do it the first few days when I would get it. No, I would do it in the last 2 days, bro. Literally 2 days. I even had projects that had to take me 3 months to do it, and I would do them in 1 day, in the last day. But I used to run into a problem. Wouldn't be able to finish it fast enough, and I would have to sacrifice sleep for it. Because, bro, to be honest, I was a dumbass. I will raise my hand up and say, yes, I was a dumbass. Because I had 3 months to work on a project. I had countless days when I would spend time on video games instead of working on a project. And I would just waste time nonstop. Well, I would get home and I wouldn't work on a project because I had 2 hours of free time. No, I would spend time on TikTok. I would spend time on Instagram, just binge watching some random shit content. So for 2.5 months, I would do that. And in the last 2 weeks, I would realize, oh, I have to do this. And I would start to stress. But I wouldn't even start it. I would just start to stress. And for 1.5 weeks, I would really stress about it. Oh, fuck, I need to do this. I need to do it, bro. I need to do it. And I wouldn't play video games with like this relaxed state. No, I would be playing video games stressed because I had a project coming up. I wouldn't work on a project. No, I would play video games stressed. Eventually, the last 2 or 3 days would come up, and I realized, okay, I need to start working on this, and I would start. And in the second to last day, I would barely do any work. I would just open the PowerPoint presentation and I would maybe put a title. I would find like a good style for the like design for it. And then, I will work more on it tomorrow, and I would be stressed about it because I knew I didn't have enough time to finish it. And I would get home the last day before I had to turn in the exam papers, like not the exam papers, the project. I would just fully focus on it. I would fully focus on it, no distractions, and I would finish it in 6 or 7 hours. 3 months of a project, of like 3 months were given for a reason, bro. 3 months for a project means you have 3 months to work on it because it's long, because you need to put in a lot of hours to like be able to finish it and have a good grade. But no, my dumbass would do it in 1 day and work 6 hours, literally drain myself of all of the energy just to get a 7 on it, an 8 on it. It's not a good waste of your time. But that experience, like those experiences, made me realize multiple things that helped me become a better YouTuber, work better on myself. Because right now, I don't have somebody tell me, okay, you have to do this video by this date, and you have to film this video by this date, and you have to edit this video by this date. No, I have to give it myself. I have to give myself homework. I have to work by myself. So I don't have deadlines. I don't have another teacher telling me what to do. No, I give myself the deadlines mentally. I give myself the homework. And these experiences, like these homework, these project experiences, made me realize something extremely important. Made me realize how to do more work in less time. Because I had 3 months to work on a project and I did it in 1 day. 1 day, which is extremely impressive, but also dumb because the quality was really worse. So by understanding this strategy, you will be able to do more work and have higher quality work by giving yourself deadlines, but in the smart way. Now I have to tell you something extremely important that I didn't understand when I was little, when I had like all of that work, when I was doing homework for school. There is no such thing as multitasking. It's bullshit. It's dumb. You are not able to multitask, especially if you do two things that require your brain. The only thing that I can think of multitasking is if you do something with your brain and something with your body. But it's also a double-edged sword because imagine trying to go to the gym and you're trying to like work out, but you also listen to a podcast. Midway through the set, you listen to some really important thing, like some really important information, and your focus goes from like the bicep, like from the actual exercise, to the podcast. And you're just mindlessly doing the exercise without having that mind muscle connection because you're focusing on the podcast. You will not make many gains. So, yeah, maybe when you're running, for example, and you have perfect form and it's literally a habit to like run consistently with good form. Like you made the habit to run good. That's a good thing. And you just don't really have to think about it. Or when you're walking, you don't really think about walking when you're walking, about the foot placement and all of that. No, you're just mindlessly doing it, which is not a bad thing, by the way. So only then maybe you could listen to a podcast and you can focus on the podcast fully. But that's not really multitasking if you focus only on one thing at a time. So multitasking needs to get out of your head. You can't multitask, especially if you do two things that require your brain. You can't do that. Imagine trying to play some video games, for example. Maybe you have some experience with video games. You're trying to play video games and you have like a gun, for example, that you're shooting people with. And in order to get a combo, you need to shoot 25 people. Imagine shooting 20 people with the same gun, 21, 22, 23, but when you get to the 24th person, you don't shoot it with the same gun. No, you choose the other gun because why not, bro? You try to do two things at once and you lose the combo on the first gun and you start with the second one and you go 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way to 21, 22, 23, but then you switch the gun again. Because why not, bro? You're multitasking. You're doing two things at once. You're losing combo on all of them, on both of them. Well, working works the same way. I've learned this from the book Deep Work. In order to fully focus and to fully be able to focus on one task, you need to give it your full attention. You need to do only that. You need to get your brain to think only on that. Imagine if I was trying to film these YouTube videos and midway through, I would just maybe start scripting, or I would just pick up the book and read. I would technically do two things at once. I would technically multitask, but it would ruin the video. It would ruin everything that I'm trying to do right here. I would also read in a dumb way because I would be focusing on the YouTube video and I wouldn't be able to film YouTube videos. Does that make sense? So you can't do two things at once. In order to achieve higher levels of performance, you need to focus only on one thing. That's what I've learned from the book Deep Work. It's like the combo in a game, as I told you. The more you focus on the task, as minutes go by of you totally focusing on it, the combo builds up. And when you have a higher combo, you're able to focus better on the thing. And if you break the combo, if you look away, if you pick up your phone, if you hear the loud notification on your phone, your focus goes away. And it takes time to build up that focus again. So you won't be able to be at the same level. So if you're like XP level 50, like combo level 50 in deep focus, and you hear the notification, it all goes down. And you have to build it up again. Just because you heard one notification. And you would think, oh, it's not that big of a deal, bro. I will just go back to working. It would take you more time to get back to fully focusing than if you didn't even hear the notification, if you didn't even think about the notification. So the thing that I've been doing recently that works amazingly well is a framework that takes 3 steps. The first thing that you have to do is to have a solid task. Know specifically what you have to do. Okay, for the next half an hour, I will edit this video. Be as specific as possible. For the next 20 minutes, I will do maths homework, or I will do the exercises from this page. Be as specific as possible. Because if you're vague, if you're saying, oh, I will do homework, your brain will be going in 20 different directions because you have 20 different things of homework to do. If you say, oh, I will work on YouTube, you could script, you could make videos, you could edit videos, you could make thumbnails, you could upload videos, you could respond to people on YouTube. All of these could be considered YouTube work. But what are you actually doing? You let your mind decide on the spot. That's not a good thing. So the most specific thing you need to do is make a solid task. Let's take having like homework. You have to do maths homework for tomorrow. Be specific as possible. I will do maths homework in X amount of time. You also need to set a time. This is the second step. Set the time. 20 minutes, half an hour, 45 minutes. A time that you think you will be able to do it, but barely. So don't put 2 hours if it takes 10 minutes. But also don't put 10 minutes if it takes an hour. So don't be like a dumbass. Be reasonable, but a bit on the lower side. So let's say if it takes you 45 minutes to do a task, or let's say 50 minutes to do a task, don't put the timer for 50 minutes. Put it for 40 minutes. Try to make yourself do it in less time. This is, I believe, Parkinson's law. You will do a task in the amount of time you allocated. That's why when you have 3 months to do a project, you don't do it in the first 2 months because you think, oh, I still have time to do it. And you will do it in the last day. You'll do it in the last week because you allow yourself that time. But imagine if the professor didn't give you 3 months to do it. He would tell you, oh, you have 1 month to do it. You would finish it in a month. Imagine if he didn't tell you 1 month. Imagine if he told you 2 weeks. You would do it in 2 weeks. Imagine if he told you 1 week. You would finish it in 1 week. Imagine if he told you 2 days. You would finish it in 2 days. So try to use that to your advantage. If you usually do your maths homework in 1 hour, put a timer for 45 minutes. Genuinely, have a real timer. There's, like on Windows, you have a clock app that lets you set a timer. So I usually set a timer for, let's say it takes me 20 minutes to edit a video. I would genuinely put a timer for 15 minutes and I would force myself, in a sense, to finish the task in 20 minutes. In 15 minutes. And the third step is to genuinely focus only on that with no distractions. Because you have less time than usual to finish it. You have less time to focus on the task. So you need the most amount of time possible, the most amount of attention possible. You can't be spending time on TikTok while you have 10 minutes left on the homework and you barely even started it. You can't be doing that. You won't finish it in the amount of time remaining. And you could even think of it as a fun little game. The more you do it, the more experience you have. Like at first, maybe your skill of guessing the time it would take is pretty off. You say an hour when it should have taken you half an hour. It's okay. The next time you have higher XP level. You know, oh, it takes me half an hour, but I have 2 more exercises, so maybe it will take me 40 minutes, but it takes you 35 minutes. And the more you do it, the more you'll know. And just think of it as a video game. Try to have higher XP in it. And I can't even stress how important having the real timer in front of you is, because I did this exercise once. I had to edit 2 videos, but I was extremely short on time. I had half an hour to edit 2 videos. 2 videos that were pretty lengthy. They usually take me over 45 minutes to do it, but I had half an hour to finish it. Like 20 minutes per video, let's say, but I had half an hour to finish 2. So I literally put a fucking timer in the top left, of the laptop to literally have it in my face, And as I was editing, I would just pick at the timer and see how much time left I would have. And my mind was like, oh, 10 minutes. 10 minutes already passed, and I'm not even halfway through. I need to hurry up. And I would just be totally faster. I wouldn't waste so much time looking if the shot is perfect. Looking, is it on the perfect frame or is it not? I would just skim through it as fast as possible. And I managed to finish editing 2 videos in half an hour when it usually would have taken me over 45 minutes to do it. So this strategy is extremely important. If you have homework to do, put on your phone a real life timer and have it in front of you. As I told you, the first time you'll do it, you will be kind of off. You will not know specifically at what time you will finish it. But the more you do it, the more experience you will have. And just think of it. Imagine if you put an hour to finish a task, but it takes you 2 hours. You will make 80% of the progress in that 1 hour. Maybe you'll not finish it. Maybe you will finish it in 1 hour and 15 minutes. But it will be so much better than 2 hours. You will still make more progress. So there's literally no downside to doing it. The only downside is just you using a bit of brain cells at the start to just think of the time and the solid task. But these are just extremely beneficial for you. Like, I can't even imagine not doing this at my stage. I'm so much more productive just by doing this. So I hope you take my word for it, and I hope you try it. Just try it once, bro. Just try it, because I know how hard it is to be just distracted all the time, to not be able to sit down and do homework because you're thinking of video games or some random girl. I know how hard it is. So trust me when I say I was in the same situation as you, and I'm the one giving you this information, these tips. So trust me when I say it is extremely valuable. It is extremely important to do it. You will make so much more progress, bro. Trust me. Click the first thing in the description to book a free call about my coaching package to see if you're a good fit for my coaching program. If you think your sleep is too good for this, still try, because I will be totally honest with you. And I will, no bullshit, just tell you, oh, your sleep is too good. And I will congratulate you for it. Just come on the call and we will talk about your sleep. And if you're interested about my coaching package, and I can help you improve your life and your sleep in 3 months. 3 months of you sleeping perfectly. And you will genuinely love your life after this. Trust me. So click the first thing in the description to book a free call. Free call, literally no strings attached. Free call to just talk about sleep and see if you are a good fit for my coaching program. See you later, bro. I was in my own world and I was just thinking and doing nothing. You can call me a psychopath for that, but of course,